So we got back to the hot topic again, and this hot topic is about roll calling. And I understand you may not like it, but there is reasons why we do this, and yeah, so this is a video going to answer all criticism of roll calling. Anyway, if you don't understand what roll calling is, I'll briefly explain it. Roll calling is a strategy that players use to ask other players for their role. If they don't claim, they would get voted and get lynched. It is not what players mistaken it as random voting. Random voting means that you're lynching a player with no logic or reasoning, and it favors evil, unlike roll calling, where roll calling has reason to lynch a player, which is not claiming, and it favors village. Here are the things that roll calling accomplishes. It gives village information and helps make optimal plays. Because you know players' roles like jailer, gunner, or witch can make optimal decisions. And informers will know who to check. And because they know players' role, they're able to deduce more easily. It narrows down who informers have to check. It narrows down who roles like seer, overseer, and etc. has to check. So in that case, they could find more evils effectively. Let's say someone says that they want to be checked by the seer, and then the seer checks them and finds them good, and then in the next night seer finds an evil. So in that case, seer wasted 2 nights just to find an evil. But if the player claimed, then the seer would find the evil the next night. It forces evils into one claim. Because they're forced into one claim, village are able to detect that evil by their claim if they ever screw up and make a misplay. And it gives evil that they have only 1 night to claim, or else they would die. It solves the game quickly. The whole point of the game is to deduce the roles of other players, thus being a social deduction game. Roll calling helps you to deduce the role of the players quickly, and it's even faster than having informers check everyone. Anyway, let's get on with some of the criticism of roll calling. Number 1, it isn't how the game is played. You could argue that the whole point of the game is not to roll call and just remain mysterious, but I've said in the beginning of the video that the whole goal of the game is to deduce the roles of 15 other players, and how the game is played is rather subjective, and it isn't really specified unless it's something as blatant as a game throwing, like shooting a revealed mayor. You won't see jailer or gunner play the same way you see every game, or the way you anticipate. And like I said, the whole point of the game is to deduce the role of 15 other players. And you can easily deduce the whole role of the player by roll calling. And you could say that it's a social deduction game, but I don't find it as a social deduction game when you're literally letting informers be the only one playing. And I don't find it as a social deduction game when you're literally just not focusing on the game. And besides, the whole point of a mystery is to crack it, not remain it as a mystery. Number 2, it makes informers useless. I hard disagree with this one. Sure, you'd say that roll calling makes everyone claim, so informers would have little to no use. But informers are a way to help us deduce and clear some possible doubts, like possible fools and etc. It's just that roll calling gives informers easy time on who to check, since it narrows down spots on who they should check, rather than informers having to waste nights to check everyone just to confirm them when they're already confirmed by claiming, and informers would have narrow spot on who they should check. Number 3, seer can just check. Sure, you'd say that seer's sheer power can just instantly confirm anyone and that there's no need for roll calling. But I find this as bullshit, and I hard disagree. Seer would waste night confirming everyone, although they would be confirmed anyway had they claimed. And because of that, Seer won't really find evil, and by then they would have lost. And second thing of all, what are you going to do when that informer is fake? It isn't really uncommon for werewolves to claim informer. Village are called the uninformed majority, while werewolves are called the informed minority. And we win on information, so why not try and gain information out of our own, since informers won't always be a permanent solution. Number 4, it's reportable or game swearing. Well, no, it isn't reportable or game swearing, because the fact said that it is okay to ask other player for the role, and there's no restriction on whether it's allowed or not. So yeah, it's not reportable. Number 5, it gets important roles killed. Sure, roles like medium and jailer would reveal themselves, so they would get killed in the process after claiming. Well, I hard disagree with this one. Medium would die anyway if he didn't claim, and it isn't like werewolves are using a random number generator to check who is who. No, they actually check for unclaimed, and Blind Wolf, Sorcerer, and Wolfseer would find the medium, and thus medium would die. It is rather better for medium to claim or jailer to claim. They don't have to claim, but they actually have to respond to roll call and claim, because they would get protected, and it's better for them to get protected than die, and just because no one knew who the medium was. And it's even worse when it comes to Confusion Wolf, who can literally hide roles, and it would be best that we have known who the medium was, rather than Confusion Wolf killing the medium and hiding them, and then they would claim medium themselves. So no, it doesn't get important role killed. It only gets them killed if they don't claim. Number 6, it gives Village a disadvantage. It actually doesn't give Village a disadvantage. Village wins on knowing the roles of 16 players, and they are called the uninformed majority. And they're called the uninformed majority because they do not know any one part of their team. And roll calling gives them information on who is part of their team. You would argue that roles like medium would have to claim and then get killed, but it simply isn't true. Number 1, medium doesn't have to live. Medium just needs time to revive. And number 2, medium would get protected anyway. And it would be best that if they claimed and then get protection, rather than not claiming and then dying. Now, Doctor claims day 1 just so no one would steal their role, and that they would get credibility as a doctor later on. And besides, the Doctor is a scapegoat anyway. Would you really think that knowing roles of 16 other players would give you a disadvantage of werewolves who had already known the roles of every player, and especially 3 other players at the beginning of the game? Number 7, it's unfun and unfair. It's also unfun and unfair when you're literally not trying to win and try to make Village as passive as possible so that the werewolves or evils would have a chance of winning. It ain't my fault that evils aren't really trying to compete as much as possible just for a win. We're basically saying that we should throw our chances of winning just so it would be fair for evil, while it won't even be fair to the Village anyway. And I'm honestly trying to win. Evils aren't really trying to win, so why is it unfair when evils aren't really trying? Like, evils should actually try, and don't throw the fact that it's unfair for them if they aren't even trying. Of course it's hard if they aren't even trying. Number 8, you should roll call only in day 3. By day 3, you would roll call, and by day 3, Village are close to losing majority because 6 players are already dead. And it isn't like werewolves are going to be passive when Village are going to lose majority. They would obviously push every villager they could for Village to lose. And would you really think that waiting day 3 would actually give you a benefit? And it shouldn't be delayed. It should happen now, because you shouldn't wait until you're close to losing majority. You should try to get as much information as possible before you even lose majority in the first place. Anyway, this is the end of the video, and if you enjoyed the video, why not like and comment on what you think of roll calling, and if you enjoy the overall content, why not subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.